Hello friends, so today we're going to finish your final Japanese painting, and it's your final Sumi painting. So last week we did our watercolor painting. We painted our background with the wet on wet watercolor and the salt effect, if you remember. We get this really cool texture and design. Today we're going to be painting different elements that you practiced a couple of weeks ago. So the panda, maybe you want to do a bamboo tree, maybe you would like to do some experimental strokes. We're going to practice them first, and then you will create your own final painting. So just to show you what I've practiced so far, here is one of my papers that is just a practice sheet. So I have actually done all different types of strokes. I practiced spreading out my paintbrush, if you remember spreading out the bristles of your bamboo brush to make some really interesting strokes like these ones down here. I have done some smushing strokes where you smush your brush on the paper and twirl. You can see I practiced my panda, some bamboo trees, all different types. So the first thing you're going to do today is you're going to do some practice strokes, and that's what I'm going to show you first. So I'm going to move this paper over. I'm going to give each of you a piece of regular white paper, and this is just regular paper, so if you want to keep it today, make sure you put your name on the back of it, because then once it is dry, I can hand it back to you. If you want to just use this as practice paper and not keep it at the end of class, that is totally fine. So I have my name on my paper, and now I get to choose, remember, one of the bamboo brushes. We have the really big one, if you remember that one. There's the medium-sized brush and the small one. So whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to do the medium one today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first, remember, start by getting your brush wet. Those bristles or brush hairs are very, very soft, so they soak up a lot of water. Remember, you don't need a lot of paint. So I'm going to go ahead and practice my panda first, I think. And because my water is not that dark yet, I might actually start by dipping my paintbrush just a tiny bit in the black ink or the black paint. So I remember I'm going to do that oval first. Make a big oval with my brush, nice and slow. You want it to be more of a gray color than a black color. So there's my oval for my panda. My next details, remember I dipped my brush into that black paint. I am going to go ahead and paint one arm. I'm going to go ahead and paint my other arm. And the two legs. They're going to be a little bigger. Now, if you make a mistake and you don't like the way this looks, that is fine because this is practice paper. So, there are my ears and my eyes. So there we go. And if I don't like the way it looks, I can go ahead and practice doing it one more time if I wanted to. Oops, I even made a dot there. So, I can practice doing the panda all over the page if that's what I really want to focus on. You can also practice doing your bamboo tree. If you remember, we did the side stroke for the bottom of the bamboo tree. We just tilted our brush to the side and made little strokes and then lifted up. That's what gives the really cool value, the dark all the way to the light of the bamboo tree. And then when you want to make the leaves of your tree, remember just the tip of your brush. I'm going to paint little strokes. And they're really small. They're also spread out. They're not right next to each other. You can see they have little patterns or pockets around there. So there's my tree I've practiced. Now I can practice doing other strokes. Maybe I want to practice doing some pressure strokes. So really light, push down as I get closer to the middle and lifting up. Maybe I want to make it almost into a cloud. Use my imagination if I think that would be cool. Maybe I want to just add water and paint that in a nice gray color. I'm just practicing. Maybe I want to do some smushing strokes, so dip my brush more into the paint, gently push it on the paper, and twirl around. Maybe I want to react to the brush strokes I just made. Maybe make some really cool line designs that go around my paper. Again, you're just practicing. If I want to practice those strokes that we learned about last time, maybe I could spread my brush out and then maybe make some grass in the bottom. So you are practicing whatever you would like to do. Now, once I'm satisfied and I think that I've practiced enough, made sure I know what I'm doing with my brush, I'm comfortable with my brush, I can go ahead and set this aside. You can walk it to the drying rack, and then I can get started on my final painting. Now, again, this can be whatever you want it to be. I want you to have at least one bamboo tree or at least one panda in your picture, but you don't need both. You don't need to have two like I do here. You can have experimental strokes. You can make it into more of an abstract painting. It is up to you. Remember, the Japanese artists say less is more. So you want to keep that beautiful color in your background. You want to make sure you're keeping your brush strokes simple, and make sure you are embracing the value, getting very dark tones all over to very light tones. Alrighty, friends, happy creating!